What's up, Juices? Good morning. I think I'm gonna get my hair cut today. Actually, I'll get my hair cut after I finish feeding that stupid tiger who I'm not uploading. It's just hours of me losing to the tiger and making pills, tiger, whatever pills and medicament pills and all that bullshit. Celestial medicines. That tiger. I think the plan is gonna be to just, this is what we used to do in Rad Squad. Pop all your cooldowns immediately. That way, towards the end of the fight, they all come back and you can pop them again and DPS the boss down. So I'll start off with a supercharged smash. I'll do my spell, smash, and I get the headbutt off with the giant thingy. The wolf does nothing. The wolf is kind of just there when he pulls out his sword to like take damage. Then I can get him to about a third of his life left. That's when I should switch to thrust stance and finish him off with thrusty thingamajiggies and super thrusts. If I'm being totally honest, hold on. Is this the one? No, this is the controller that this controller for some reason doesn't work. I'm using the old one from Xbox, I want to say 360 from like 2006. And there's this other the controller that I bought that was new, that was working great. I broke it in January because I was doing all those in Morrowind. I was doing you have to like push down and then go forward, push down and then go forward, and I like totally broke that controller. So I'm using the controller that where if I push up, it'll go like up sideways. If I push B, I have to like push B. So I think I might need a new controller, is also what it is. Such a pain in the ass. Anyways, so I do want to reiterate, I, geez, the best way I can put my finger on it is as crazy as it's going to sound, a lot of what uh, a lot of the stories that my mom would talk about, Asha has similar stories, which is why I like to just at least stay in contact and make sure she's doing okay in like America and whatnot. And she like gets mad when I say that. But like, okay, for example, my mom being from Peru, like she told me the story one time how she was like 6 or 7 and a bunch of like motherfuckers with like AKs or whatever the fuck like basically took over some library or whatever the fuck in Lima and they like took her out of school and they marched her up into the mountains and all that bullshit and they had to like hide and all that shit until it was over. And I'm pretty sure that all that shit going on is one of the reasons why my grandpa on my mom's side worked so hard to bring them all over to America. Hence why they love America, or at least why my mom loves America so much. I think my aunts and uncles take it for granted, and all they want to do is watch giant soap operas on their giant TV. Anyways, Asha told me a story how when she was 6 or 7, a bunch of Maoists with AKs took over her country, like killed the crown prince or had him like MK Ultra, whatever the fuck it was, and then up into the mountains, marching into the mountains, hiding, all that bullshit. So it's like when Asha says something, when my mom says something like you're ungrateful, you don't appreciate all the blessings you have in America. That's my mom. And then Asha will say something like you have it so easy, you don't understand how lucky you are. That will mean something. Grew up in, you know, the fucking terrorist run Peru, more MRTA, had their country taken away by a bunch of Maoists, and now they're gutting your country and making it like a tourist attraction for Guaylos. Okay, that means something. Horphany grew up in the lap of luxury. According to all these people she's like begging money from, she grew up in San Francisco. She had a school with a trombone section to go to, and then she ran away to fucking Joseon, Korea to commit crimes and all that bullshit. So like, what I think it is the issue is that people stopped being original, especially in America. If you ask me, Orphany is just like some regular basic bitch, which is probably why she's so easy to sell out and why her dad is so eager to pimp her out. I totally think her dad is the problem, or whoever that fucker was I met at the brunch after Night for Freedom. I still think that because again, like probably every habit I have that people don't like about me, I probably get from my dad. My dad's pretty not give a fuck. He just wants to be left alone. That's the best. You don't understand. If I just play um, Wukong all day long, that would be the best. I'd have no problems with that whatsoever. Um, uh, my mom is the one who's always like, you gotta do better, you gotta excel and study and all that bullshit. And a whole lot of that like stuck in my head that every now and then I'll be playing Wukong and I'll be like, damn it, let me do some bug bounty courses. Let me upgrade my certs. Let me make sure at the very least I have, all my resume shit put together at the very least. As a matter of fact, because of that, I remember, shit. I remember one time, uh, my dad, like the reason why I even like know about Good Charlotte and all that bullshit, because I remember this one time, it was like 1994, and we were living at the house that we were living at when we went to high school, but we had just moved there, and we almost moved out. And what happened was my dad was getting this job in Maryland somewhere because he didn't want it was too hard. He didn't want to get his DC first, so he got his DC third or some shit, or maybe even the DC sixth or some shit like that. With those thingies, it's like the horsepower of the boilers you're allowed to operate and all that bullshit. So I remember my mom, my dad, my sister, and me, we all got into the car and we drove towards like Baltimore or Annapolis or some shit like that. It was a long time. And we got there and it was this apartment complex and there was this dude who was moving out and looked really angry carrying these boxes. And it was like I want to say it was like Section 8 housing, maybe something like that. And I just remember my dad being like, "This is gonna be our new place. I'm gonna be operating. This is gonna be my new job. I'm gonna be upkeeping all these apartments, which is a good, honest work. Nothing wrong with that." And my mom just got mad at him and started like yelling at him and all that bullshit. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, "Wow, this place seems kind of cool. There's like squirrels and whatnot." But then like I got a little bit older and I was like, "Oh snap, that was like Section 8 housing." That would have not been cool. I would have like grown up with like the Good Charlotte kids and been like have my hair like this and been like all goth and shit. Instead, I just wore sweatshirts and jeans and was like, I'm gonna play video games. I'm gonna go play Final Fantasy. I'm gonna go play Chrono Cross. That's another thing. Asha was like yelling at me, and she was like you were lucky enough to even have a computer when you were a kid. Like I was. Like I remember my mom. She liked Star Trek. So like she nagged my dad to get one day my dad got a job. He got his like DC third or his DC first. We all went to a Price Club and we bought a computer, a family computer. And we got King's Quest 6, which is an awesome game, and then Flight Simulator and Aces Over Europe, and we crashed all the planes. And when I found out about King's Quest, like what actually blew my mind was the way the company was founded. I'll reiterate. A computer nerd was trying to make a new microprocessor, and he married some fashion bitch, and she wouldn't shut the fuck up about her fairy tale bullshit. And she had all these fantasies and all this bullshit. And he was like, shut the fuck up, I'm trying to make microprocessors. And she was like, you need to make my game. Make my fairy tales into a game. I want an interactive story. And he was like, I'll make a deal with you. If I make your interactive story and nothing happens and it doesn't get big, you shut the fuck up and let me work on microprocessors. And she goes, deal. And he made King's Quest and it was $1 billion company and now they retired and they run Sierra Ventures or some bullshit like that. That's America. That's what America used to be all about. Now America is like, get in line. America is like, what? You don't like your rights being taken away from you? How dare you think for yourself? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. What was it? Roberta Williams? That's some original ass shit. That's some original, like, Horphany, not original. It's like they took some basic ass bitch, they chopped her nose off, gave her horse dentures, covered her in plastic, and said, all right, her stupid, bankrupt, fraudulent dad, it's a good thing we can control you and you can control her. And it's a good thing she has no no role models other than a bankrupt, fraudulent asshole. That way we can control her and get the goods out of her. It's retarded. Like, I gotta say, the past 2 years have been horrible because Horphany has been projecting all of her lifestyle choices onto me, and I don't like it. Uh, it's got nothing to do with Korea. Like, Korea is just a kimchi premium. Like, when I get all my ducks in a row, I totally can see myself going to Korea once or twice a year, trading crypto, and coming back. The problem with all of this bullshit started the moment Horphany showed up. That's just what it. No Horphany, no problems. I mean, damn. But no, just some original ass shit. Like, what was it? Asha knew. What was it? Asha knew. What was her name? Joan Rivers, as I understand it, because Asha, being from Nepal, part of the Nepali royal family, however you want to get into that, had some kind of like a rap from Nepal, and Joan Rivers thought it was cool and started talking to her in like 2012 or some bullshit like that. Pictures and all that bullshit. That's a unique, original story. Okay? You know it's not unique or original? I starved myself. I lived off of like black bean ice cream. I pit myself out. My dad's bankrupt, and I'm part of a group of 8. And if I ever do anything original, everyone yells at me and they steal my money to keep me in line. No Tiffany, 1.2 million in 5 months. Horphany, all kinds of problems. Nothing gets done. Nothing on no one's side got done. Nothing on anyone, like nothing I wanted to do got done. Nothing she wanted to do got done. It was just a waste of time. It was unoriginal bullshit. People just used to be. America's about freedom because it's supposed to be originality. And the thing that I don't get, the reason why I brought all this bullshit up, is because one of the things that Asha will get mad at me about was she would be like, "You don't get along. You don't fall in line." Like, I'm like, why would I fall in line? If it makes sense, I'll do it. If it's like a good reason, I'll do it. If that's some kind of like brainwash bullshittery control, and the fact that, pardon me, the fact that she's suggesting just fall in line, that's exactly why Nepal isn't Nepal anymore. When I met her, all she would say was Nepal isn't Nepal anymore. They're changing it. They're making it just like the West. Well, they're making America not America anymore. They're making America just like El Salvador, or what El Salvador used to be. It's just what it is. That's why people who actually care about America tend to be individualistic. Because America was founded on a bunch of people who founded America said, no, thank you. We don't want to do that. We're going to do it our way. And they just did it their way. And if you didn't like it, that's fine. You don't have to like it. Just don't bother me. Yeah, I'm gonna go play fuck, Masters of Orion. I should have kept playing that. I was gonna play one more Masters of Orion and beat it on Impossible. Then I bricked my own driver and all the shit. I had like nothing major was lost, but like I guess the web browser tabs are like a focus point of what I was doing. And now that they're all gone, I don't remember what they were open for or what was open, and I can't recall the history. So all that, whatever I was doing is just done. And I have to just do something else now. And I don't even know if I'll be able to get back into that Twitter. I haven't even looked for the old password. Okay, maybe I'll maybe I'll work on this because I'm stuck on the tiger. I might do that. I have to go to the gym. What is it? Hold on. Do, 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 do. Cyberpunk Interactive Game Book. So this is only going to be like what the fuck? I'm only reading the bad endings. Hold on. No, this is a bad ending where you okay, so it's a story. You guys ever read Lone Wolf, the Lone Wolf series? Those books were awesome. Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up. Look, everyone's like, Trad, back to the 50s. No, 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 no. I want to go back to the 90s when we had money in the economy. We had a budget surplus and we weren't at war. Lone Wolf books. Yep, from the United Kingdom. There you go. I can't find it. These books. And like what it was like I've got to, I'm like I'm assuming NFTs are a way to do it, but what they would do is they would be like, okay, so if you buy the book, then you like do the thingies, and based on the decisions you make, you like find the artifact or you die. And then so if you get the second book and you like did the challenges from the first book, you could like say you had the sword and get like the extra stuff, but if you didn't, there were still challenges to get through without it. But the problem with that is you can just be like, okay, well, I have the sword, but I don't, and you just do it anyways. So with an NFT, you could like actually make it an interactive game. But so it's supposed to be like a progressive path, and I also want to introduce like characters to it, like one of the battle toads. That would be cool. Hold on. So what is this? So in this scenario, uh, Lone Wolf Chapter 2, The Black Veil's Remnants, Bad Ending Intro. Narrative introduction coming from the bad ending of Chapter 1. The rain comes down in sheets of cold while the encounter from the alley with the former Black Veil member went south fast. You reach the building, a towering monolithic structure that looms over the street like a sentinel of bygone era. Your breathing is ragged as you crouch because you got shot. As you crouch into the shadows across the street, watching the entrance with your wary eyes. The pain in your side flares up again, a hot spike that makes you grit your teeth and clutch your wound tighter. You're running on fumes, blood loss, exhaustion, and the cold are taking their toll. But you can't afford to stop now. The rival hackers who ambushed you before are likely still on your trail. Every minute you waste brings them closer. Then you glance around, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Uh, the terminal's defenses are rudimentary at best. What? Wait a minute. You're supposed to die in this one. Just as you reach the gap, the first turret fires. A bright blue bolt of energy that slams into the server behind you, sending a shower of sparks and debris into the air. You duck, feeling the heat of the blast in your skin, and squeeze through the gap. Your shoulders scraping against the metal. You're bleeding. You're exhausted, but you're alive for now. Wait a minute. This is supposed to be the death ending. Oh shit. Okay, no. Fuck. How long is this? It's 20 minutes. I will just have to do these then, I guess. But everything I said, that's what I said. Peace out.